Hello, I'm Robin and welcome to Bookspin. I've got another tag video for you today. This one is called The Evolution of a Reader Tag, and I've been meaning to do this for a while. I've actually been tagged twice to do this, firstly by MJ at Reading This Life and more recently by Fred at Read by Fred. So I finally got around to doing this. I will link their channels down below in the description along with the original tag creator, Spread Book Joy. This is a fairly short one with just 4 prompts, and the questions are all quite introspective. So let's get to it. First question: what you read? How has your taste in books evolved? So I would say I've become more specialized in my tastes over time, to the point now where I read almost exclusively science fiction as my favorite genre. But I still do read other genres and other types of books from time to time. As a teenager and into my 20s, I was into fantasy for quite a while, especially the works of Neil Gaiman, which I read multiple times. I discovered him at the age of 17 with American Gods, which remains to this day my favorite fantasy novel. In fact, I have here my signed copy. Since then, and throughout my life, I've enjoyed all kinds of literature. Things like philosophical novels, humorous novels, magic realism, classics, Japanese fiction, especially Murakami, and non-fiction on topics such as philosophy, history, religion. But in the last few years, I discovered that I really love science fiction in a way that can't really be matched in any other genre. I love the big ideas of sci-fi, the imaginative world building, the thought experiments that it comes up with, the deep philosophical questions it explores, questions such as what does it mean to be human? So now I want to explore this genre as much as possible. Question 2. How you read. Has the format of your reading changed much? Well, these days I read almost entirely physical books. I do occasionally listen to non-fiction audiobooks. I have read ebooks in the past, but not anymore. I worked overseas for several years in East Asia, and at that time it was more convenient to read books on my e-reader, as this was cheaper, more practical than buying physical books in English. But I do prefer reading physical books, generally speaking, especially when the books are beautifully designed or have a vintage collector's appeal. So now I like to read and collect physical books. Question 3. How much do you read? Do you read more or less than previously? When do you read? Has how often you read changed? Well, I usually read every day whenever I get a good chance, and this is a habit that has been more or less consistent throughout my life. I tend to read most in the evenings when work and family commitments are wrapped up for the day, or when I'm commuting by bus, or just whenever is a good time to pick up a book. Has how often you read changed? That's difficult to say. There have been periods in my life where I read more or less according to the circumstances at the time and how busy I've been. But there's never been a time where I've not had a book on the go. Question 4. How has Booktube changed you as a reader? So I would say that for a few years now, I've followed a number of booktubers that have certainly inspired me and introduced to me a whole range of books, especially sci-fi books, that I may never have discovered otherwise. It's definitely broadened my horizons, and this has only grown more since I started this channel. So my TBR keeps on growing and growing as a result. Another thing is I'm now more organized with my reading, i.e. I'm actively keeping track of what I've been reading and what I want to read. And my channel is a good focus for this. In fact, I have a New Year's resolution to review every book that I read. So you could say that starting a Booktube channel has provided me with an outlet to be more reflective of what I'm reading. So those are all the questions. We also have a fifth prompt, which is tag some people. I am going to tag Marissa Bailey, Jake at The Bookish Drummer, David at David's Book Reviews, and Kristen at Kristen L. SFF Reader. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more sci-fi content.